Hey everybody, it's Dave Fry with The Space Between. I'm going solo. No podcast tonight. Just want to talk to you. I want to tell you that the reason why I'm starting this online coaching business is because I came out of 34 years of depression. I made it. I survived. There was moments where I did not think I was going to survive. I really didn't. I kind of felt like, it really wasn't worth it anymore. But strangely enough, nobody could tell. I mean, some people could. Some of my close friends could tell. But for the most part, it didn't seem like it was any major concern. People get down. It's the way it works. And it's strange to think about it because now being on this side of anxiety and depression and seeing clearly why I had anxiety and depression, which is exactly what I want to do, is I want to share that with people. Yeah, I really want to make a living at this and share this beautiful understanding that I have. And it's amazing to see the difference. But if you've experienced depression in the past or are currently experiencing depression, I can tell you exactly what you're experiencing because I've been there for so many times. The things that I did during my life, I was a happy person, always been a very happy person, always been active. I was an Eagle Scout, ordered the arrow. I continued on to study art and photography. A lot of my jobs had to do with art. I really loved screen printing. I loved mixing inks. So I've been in screen printing for over 20 years. Just love being a part of the creative process of life. Love meeting people, hanging out, going new places, hiking, camping, canoeing, always been active. But underneath all of that too was something that I struggled with. And I started when I was around 23 years old. And it came across as just something different. And if I could describe it as, I would say it's a spiral. And what is that spiral of? It's of thoughts. And the thoughts are shallow. They come across as negative. Why would I be born with a brain that would give me negative thoughts? I think that's the biggest confusion for people, especially young people in their teens, in their 20s, in that early stage of life where you're coming out of being a kid. And being a kid's a blast, right? You can do anything you want to. It doesn't matter what you do. There's no heavy thinking about what you do. You just do it. And then you got some people, older people, adults, whatever, trying to guide you in a certain path. But you know what? As kids, you just do what you want to do. And then all of a sudden you start to grow up and there's confliction. There's a conflict between the thoughts. And it's like, how, why, when, where, why would I have thoughts that were negative? It doesn't make sense. Why would I say something bad about myself? You know what I'm talking about, right? Why would I have thoughts that were against me? That doesn't even make sense. And then I had one negative thought, and they would chase another negative thought and another negative thought, and they would go in a spiral, and they would speed up. And they get to the point where people, you hear people all the time saying, I wish I could get this thing to stop. Now I understand. We get caught up. In fact, we like to call them thought storms because that's exactly what they are. They're thoughts that have sped up, and then we experience those thoughts. We aren't the thoughts. We have thoughts, but we aren't the thoughts. That may sound confusing, but it's so pure. It's so true that we have thoughts and we experience thoughts, but we're not those thoughts. It's like seeing something go across the screen in front of us. Now, we can see the words go across the screens. We can hear the music in the background, and we can feel the music and think, this part of the movie is dramatic. But we know that we're not the movie. So why do we believe that we are our thoughts? Why do we believe that? Because that thing's connected to our body? Is that why we believe it? It's so strange, and it's such an incredible insight to finally feel that I'm not my thinking. Even though I have thinking, doesn't mean I am my thinking. Have you ever argued with yourself before? You ever thought to yourself, Why did I say that? Why did that show up? That's strange. I've never thought of it that way before. Have you ever been curious about the things that show up from within you? That's a great sign. That's a wonderful sign that says, hey, guess what? What if Dave's right? What if I'm just really caught up in a thought storm right now? Well, what do? Well, nothing, because thought storms are like any other storms. They speed up, they get all crazy, and then they settle down. But for us, during those thought storms, it's like the only thing that we can concentrate on. It's like the only thing that's right in our face. It's amazing to know that we're safe and we're okay during those thought storms. It's like being in a bomb shelter during a hurricane. You know that there's a hurricane out there, but you also know that you're safe. You're surrounded by concrete walls. You're okay. It sounds scary. It feels scary. You're okay. It's the same thing with these thought storms. They come in and they are wild and crazy and fast and heavy, and you feel heavy, and you feel lethargic, you feel tired, you feel sick, you may get a headache. But then after a while it passes, and I don't know what the while is exactly. I don't know. It could be a while, it could be minutes, it could be hours, it could be days, it could be weeks. I don't know. I don't know what that time frame is for you or for me. It varied. Sometimes they were fast storms, sometimes they were slow storms. But they always move away. And what's left is that peace and that clarity and just feeling of, okay, this is this part, the part after the thought storms, that feels, what's the word I'm looking for? That just feels like in this space, I'm going to go do some things in this space. What we failed to see in our lives, and what the standard Western therapy fails to see, is that we're not broken. Okay? We're not broken. We've never been broken. We don't need fixing. We don't need fixing. We need to understand that that's who we are. As human beings, we get to experience this enormous spectrum of emotions. Everything is temporary. When we feel happy and excited, that's temporary. Then we go back to that peaceful place. And then that's temporary. And then we may get caught up. We may get angry, or we may get frustrated, or we may get confused, or we may get depressed, or we may get sad, or we may grieve. But those are temporary moments too, because we can shift between those moments quickly. I mean, I know for a fact, just the other day I was laughing and then I was crying out of joy, but I was still crying. And then I was back to being peaceful again, and then I moved on to something else. It's not that I moved on, but we move in this beautiful flowing river of expressions and feelings and thoughts. And at the same time, understanding. The understanding is knowing that I may experience the roller coaster, the ups and the downs, the middles, the highs, the lows. I may experience all that stuff, but the truth of who I am is not all that. The truth of who I am is what has always been with me since the time I was born until the time I die, and that is that wisdom and that clarity and that love. I know that's me, who I am innately. That's who I am whole. That's why you can never be broken, because you're always whole. But as human beings, we get to experience all the fun stuff that goes up and the downs. And one more thing before I finish this, when we are caught up, when our minds are speeding up, when our thoughts are on fire and they're moving super fast and we feel that depression, that's not depression. We unfortunately put a word on something that is a way of communicating. It is simply communicating with us. It's letting us know in those anxious moments, in those confused and frustrated moments, just letting us know our mind and our thoughts are busy. Isn't that amazing? It's a way of communicating to ourselves. It's a way of communication. When we're calm and peaceful, it's not like we need to know anything. We don't need to know if we're calm or peaceful. When we're super hyper excited, that's also communication to let us know that we are really wound up and excited right then, right? We get super excited. Sometimes we make silly decisions when we're super happy. Sometimes we make silly decisions when we're super sad. But there's not a problem. It's not a problem with any of them, right? Do you feel that? That's what I want you to see. I want you to feel that within yourself. If you're listening to me, I get it. I'm not speaking to your intellectual mind here. I'm speaking to what's beyond your intellectual mind. And if you can feel that from within, if you can feel what I'm talking about, then that's where we have an amazing conversation. That's where my practice comes in, is to show you that you have the wisdom and clarity already within you. And through our conversations, I will guide you back to where you are. I'll guide you back to within yourself. I understand that it's difficult to find somebody out there. When you're looking online, you want to find someone that you can relate to, that maybe is your same age or whatever the case might be. When I was constantly trying to find therapists, and there's a million therapists out there. And I had to go through my insurance company, and I had to pick a certain person. It was very complicated and difficult. I didn't know them. I'd have to read their bios, and then I'd have to look at their picture. Sometimes I just picked a person because I liked the way they looked. I understand. It's tricky, it's complicated, it's scary at times. You want to share the story. You want to share the story that you have, that you're caught up in. Share it to someone that you can trust. And I get that. It's very difficult. But I have plenty of references. If you go to my website, I have professional coaches that have given me testimonials to let you know that it's okay. And you can write them, you can email them and ask them about me if you'd like. I have been involved in sharing this understanding for over 5 years. Please, you owe it to yourself if you're caught up in anxiety and depression. It doesn't have to be depression, or it could be addictions, or it could be having a hard time getting sleep, or if you're having relationship problems. The beauty of this understanding is it's pointing you back to your innate wisdom. That's all we can ever work on. We can only work on ourselves. And the more I work on myself, the more I can help those that just need to see themselves clearly. When you see yourself clearly and you see that you're not the thoughts that you have all the time, there's a much easier way. There's a freedom involved in that. There's a freedom that takes pressure off the shoulders, and you can feel how things flow through you, that you're not in control. You don't have to be in control, because life is moving us, always moving us. Life has our back. Please consider signing up on my website. There's going to be a place where you can sign up for a free session, which is just a chance for us to get to know each other. If we're a good fit, that's great. We'll move forward. If not, all the blessings to you, and I wish you the best. Please keep searching. Please know that you are the answer, that everything lies within you. You have everything that you need. You do. If you could have one thing from this conversation right now, is please know that you are the wisdom and the clarity and the love that you're searching for, that you're seeking for. And if anyone tells you that you're broken, turn away, run away from that. If anyone even dares to say that you're going to suffer for the rest of your life, or that this runs in your family, or anything like that goes against your natural well-being, don't do it. Come back to me, come back to people I know. I have plenty of coaching colleagues who would drop what they're doing to pay attention to you. So please take myself into consideration. Go to the website, link in the description below. Let's talk. Email me. You don't even have to go to the website if you don't want to. Just email me, ask me some questions, and we'll move from there. I wish you an amazing day. I wish you an amazing evening, wherever you are in this world. Take care of yourself. Be safe. This is Dave Fry from The Space Between.